Okay, hold on. Hold on one quick second. A crossover game between Mario and the Rabbids. What? Mario is definitely used to putting up with characters from different universes. He's played basketball with a party from Final Fantasy, played intense games of Fortune Street with the cast of Dragon Quest, and partook in a ridiculous number of Olympic events with Sonic and crew. Why not give the Rabbids a shot now? They're no strangers to going on adventures that didn't consist of a ton of minigames. Anybody out there play Rabbids Go Home on the Wii? Game is pretty damn good. And seriously, when else am I gonna talk about it? Surely, like many of you out there, the mere thought of a crossover between these two franchises in a tactical RPG no less had me confused, to say the very least. But after a pretty impressive E3 reveal, I started to get really hyped for the game. And then when Ubisoft offered to let me play the game early, I mean, that worked out for me. I wanted to play it anyway. The raving Rabbids have invaded the Mushroom Kingdom. Most of them are bad, a couple of them are good. Go and stop the bad ones. This is all happening because a Rabbid with a special mask called the Super Merge is able to combine other Rabbids with different items. That mask is actually the creation of a massive Mario fan revealed in an opening cutscene. It's pretty neat, actually. Meanwhile, a vortex appears above Peach's castle, scattering our heroes across the lands. And thus, the adventure begins, with Mario, Rabbid Luigi, Rabbid Peach, and your helper robot, Beepo, to rid the land of the Rabbid infestation, get your hands on the Rabbid that started this mess, and save the day. And also, Rabbid Peach is pretty great. The characters are all really charming, actually. The Rabbids, I guess you would call trademark yelling, is toned down in favor of actual endearing moments, and it's really nice. Especially Rabbid Yoshi, just look at this guy. Oh, he's so good. Now the game is cut up into two distinct parts, exploration and tactical grid-based combat. Initially, I figured the exploration part would be nothing more than a means to get from one battle to another, but to my surprise, running around the different worlds was actually really enjoyable. There are tons of coins to collect, secrets to find, and Rabbids doing absolutely ridiculous and weird things to themselves to witness. And the secrets you find can either be extra weapons to purchase for your characters, or a bunch of goodies for the main Hub World's museum. It's really all just the collector's instinct in me, man. I gotta search through every single nook and cranny to get that number to the top. There's a couple of bonus rooms to tackle, and even an entire chapter filled with more battles hidden in each world. It still feels like the Mario world you come to expect, but with a lot of interesting design choices. The soundtrack is fantastic too. Grant Kirkhope, I love you. Mwah. All that being said though, the main goal is still to get yourself into some battles and destroy those Rabbid pests for good. When it's your turn in battle, you have three different options that you can do. You can move to a different spot on the map, attack with either your primary gun or a secondary weapon, or activate some passive abilities. And each of the characters specialize in different aspects, such as the range of their weapons and abilities that either favor offensively or defensively. And all of this stuff can be upgraded via a weapon shop and a skill tree. And oh man, I do love me a good skill tree. And despite only having three options, there are some pretty cool things that you can do during your turn. Like you can dash into enemies for some extra damage before you attack properly, and then do a team jump to end your move farther away than you would normally be able to walk to. And if you're, say, Mario, you can jump off of one of your teammates and then jump on top of an enemy for massive damage, and then land right next to that same enemy, you whack them with your hammer, and boom, you're done, son! Yoshi has an area of effect ground pound, Rabbid Mario has a dash with an explosion effect, Peach can heal teammates that she lands right next to. There's quite a bit of diversity there. And as for abilities, oh, the Hero Sight one, oh, that's really good. It allows you to attack anybody that moves. So, for example, you can attack an enemy that charges for you after being attacked, and then immediately attack them again. and you activate that move with both Mario and Luigi, and it's so cool seeing the brothers just take those Rabbids out. Unless the goal of the chapter is to get yourself or Toad to a specific part of the map. It's better off to play a little bit more defensively then. But ultimately, it simply feels pretty good to go and use everything in your arsenal during battles, and it is satisfying coming up with a team that works for you. Unfortunately, you don't have much choice in terms of your team. Mario is required to be there at all times, as well as at least one of the Rabbids. I'm really not sure why this restriction exists, but thankfully Mario is fairly overpowered with his stomping move, and then I always had Rabbid Peach on deck due to her awesome sentry weapon and her ability to heal, because if you couldn't tell, I can be a little reckless. Any third-party member that I had was really just a sweet bonus. But once again, I really liked Rabbid Yoshi. Just look at him, oh my god, he's adorable! And what's also pretty cool is that you can replay any chapter afterwards to go for a better ranking. And I'm actually compelled to go and do that, especially when you can take your overpowered characters back to chapter 1. Oh, it feels so gratifying. And don't get me wrong here, the game is by no means easy. It's not like, say, a Fire Emblem level of difficulty where one wrong move could mean certain irreversible death, but you definitely can't just rampage through every single enemy without much thought. Well, maybe unless you activate easy mode, but easy mode, like I actually need easy mode. I don't need no stinking easy mode. I go hard! The strategy mainly boils down to location rather than forming out your attacks, since the risks really just boil down to percentage chances of attacking, which are either 0, 50, or 100, with the chance of a critical that not only does more damage, but also dishes out a status effect. Though I will say the game does start to feel pretty repetitive near the end of the adventure. The game took me a little over 20 hours to complete, and it did spice things up whenever a new character showed up, and the boss fights are all unique, requiring new strategies. But once you learn of all of the different enemy types, you just start to deal with ones with higher attack and health numbers as you progress. Luckily, at the very least, the map diversity kept things pretty interesting. And once again, man, I just love a good skill tree. Being able to upgrade my moves and then using them in battle with noticeable differences, oh, it feels so satisfying. And man, even when you wrap up the main adventure, Beepo gets a few new abilities that you can use to find new items in previous areas, and on top of the secret chapter, each world also has 10 additional challenges of varying difficulties that you can tackle. There is just quite a good chunk of content to be found here. And man, while I'm in fanboy mode, massive shout out to the Switch itself. Being able to take this on the go and knock out a mission or two, it's so awesome. Ultimately, I had way more fun with Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle than I ever thought I was going to. It is by no means an overly strategic and tactical quest that's gonna be blowing your mind, but it is a really fun romp through the Mushroom Kingdom in a way that we've never seen before. Again, I want to say a major thank you to Ubisoft for providing a copy of the game, and a huge congratulations to the development team for taking such a huge risk and coming out with results that kind of surprised everybody. If I've convinced you to give the game a shot, there will be a link down below where you can learn more about the game, and you should click it, because trust me, it'll be worth it. And also, you can join me in the Rabbid Peach fan club. Don't judge me, okay? She's great.